Ladies and gentlemen, we are back in beautiful Anaheim with a wonderful tournament so far, and man, have we had some incredible matches, and now I have incredible guests coming over to the Bravo stream. That is
where
right,
I want to be, baby.
Golden Boy.
This is where I want to be. I'm excited, man. I can't believe the game that we just saw just a little while ago. Fnatic taking it to Cloud9. That, folks, is unprecedented, but most importantly, it is huge for Fnatic. And if anything, I think Anaheim, Tony, has been a big opportunity for these teams, the Fnatics of the world, the Pioneers of the world, to really establish themselves as forces in competitive Halo right now.
Yeah, this is your time to shine right now. I mean, it's still early in Halo Infinite. The meta's still being defined. And for those teams that are really grinding, like the squads like Fnatic, they really understand the meta and they can change things up. You know, Cloud9 expecting one kind of timing. They're expecting to win those individual gunfights and then count on their numbers. And Fnatic just threw them off almost all series long and literally almost stole it away as we take a look at the bracket here. Yes, ultimately Cloud9 did end up winning, but man, that Dark Horse squad, Fnatic, taking them to Game 5 and showing us that C9, although undefeated, actually bleed is a big confidence boost going through them, even though they're going to be playing the rest of their matches throughout the elimination bracket.
Yeah, you know, it kind of reminds me of a funny wrestling thing that happened a long time ago where Brock Lesnar was bleeding in a match, and then someone in the crowd said, if it bleeds, you can kill it. And that's Cloud9, so I guess now we have an opportunity. Fnatic are going to be in the lower bracket. If you're Complexity or Exit and you look at the score line there and you see Fnatic, you're like, it's not going to go too well for us. But the bigger story, Space Station Gaming not winning anything. A single game. It's complete shutout. So shocked. Esports Arena Red with a massive win there. Torrent also, I think that they won their game against UIU. So it really has just been a spectacular tournament for a lot of these teams that are developing their rosters as the season continues to march on. But our game is another one of those matchups where, you know, you have a Pioneers, a very ready Pioneers team. And then on the flip side, you have G2 Esports, who carry the banner of one of the most prestigious esports organizations in the business. With the talent that they have, it shouldn't feel like this is a game that Pioneers could win. You should think that G2 should walk away with the dub here, Tony, but Pioneers have been unreal.
Yeah, for those of you who know me before Halo Infinite, you know me probably from Halo 5 and always know that I'm a huge fan of the Pioneers. I actually know them very well. Actually, I was schooling them in basketball a little just on Thursday, putting it on. I put them on them. I'm just saying. I mean, I didn't win. But I didn't win, but it's whatever. You already know. But meanwhile, G2 on the other side, you know, you have a red hot Pioneers. G2 came in with a lot of expectations. Not gonna lie, they didn't meet him at the beginning, but recently they've been red hot in scrims. They've been looking good in tournament play. I'm really excited to see this G2 roster, especially with Tusk, who got poached from Space Station Gaming, who they're the ones actually not looking good right now. Like you said, not winning a single series.
Yeah, I think Tusk is counting his blessings that he's on, you know, he's wearing black and red rather than black and yellow. Unfortunately, as much as I love Space Station and the organization, just a difficult situation for them to be in here. But you saw the names on that lineup, Tony, right? You know, straight sick. Sab, so many people. You talk to like Clutch and Onset, Bravo, like even some of the fans, like everyone feels like Sab is one of those dudes where it's just like his skill level, the quality of player that he is so far up there, and he really brings a lot to this team. This G2 squad, when they are clicking, they have weapons across the board, and it is scary for any team to try and go toe-to-toe with them. So Pioneers have a lot of work in front of them.
Yeah, I really like the way G2 is constructed. You have, you know, two veterans who kind of have been there, done that kind of players. Yeah. And you have that within Gilkey and Straight Sick. And then you implement a player like Sab, for example, and like Tusk. You said, and Tusk as well, who both of them, whenever you have players like, you know, for example, Clutch. Clutch has been an ace with these guys, and he's literally said, when I play against Sab, it feels like he makes literally no mistakes whatsoever. He's just that good of a player. I really am surprised that G2 took so long to kind of ascend, but here they are now, showing what they're made of. And I would say on paper, G2 still should be the favorites, but I would definitely give KCB a puncher's chance.
It's tough, man, right? Because, you know, Sap's stats so fantastic, 117 assists as well. Shout out to the homie, John 117. But, you know, and we are on, Xbox, right? We're on Twitch.tv/Xbox.
Yeah.
So I think it's apropos.
Not PlayStation.
Yeah. But the thing is that Pioneers, man, Pioneers, yesterday, they shocked us all. And I was singing their praises from the beginning. I felt like I was you up there, just yelling to the gods about Pioneers. And I'm glad that people are finally starting to take notice of the quality that this team has. They are scary when they're hot, and G2 has to quell that fire as soon as the game starts. And one of the players I'm really looking forward to doing that, or looking to do that rather, is Gilkey. He has had those moments of brilliance where he makes these spectacular plays, montage-worthy plays like that triple kill on live fire yesterday. It was a thing of beauty. And that's just like another day in the office for Gilkey, right? For Pioneers, they understand that they have G2 weapons across the board. This isn't going to be an easy game. And if anything, this isn't going to be like United. This is a team that's still trying to find themselves, and they have a lot to prove, a lot of pressure on them. But I do believe that G2 are up to the task here. But if you ask me to predict this, I genuinely don't know. Like, this is as back and forth as it goes, you know?
If you ask me, well, you know what?
You want to do it?
Why don't we do some predictions here? Let's do some predictions here. I know who I'm going for.
Wow.
I got mine right here.
You know what? I'm gonna go. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. I go for G2. You go for Pioneers. Okay. Not because I don't like Pioneers. Obviously, everyone knows that I love Pioneers. I've been loving these. You gotta stop throwing papers when I'm working with you, Tony. Okay, here we go. But I really, it's hard for me to predict. And I really just went for G2 simply because they are really starting to click this event. And even though Pioneers are as well, I do think that veteran experience that G2 has plays very well into this upcoming matchup. But genuinely, buddy, it could go either way. It really can.
To me, Pioneers are the perfect team. They're young. They're hungry, and wherever the team is always trying to make changes and
they're
trying
consistent too.
Exactly, but they're trying to make changes. They're always like, team changes all the time and trying to get to that next step. KCP are like, no, you know what? We're best friends.
Yeah.
Let's grow together. Let's do film review. Let's get in the lab and just simply grind and grind and grind. And just, I love the idea of when you put in that hard work, you put in that grind, it pays off, and that's exactly what KCP have done. Oh, if you're talking about the latter half, Halo 5, where a lot of teams might have taken a break, KCP were in the trenches, going in tournament after tournament. And it comes to playing those money 8s and trying to get to the top of their game and doing that film review. Who's doing that? It's KCP, and that kind of mindset has carried over to Halo Infinite. That's why I love my boys so much.
Yeah, no, they're good. They have a it's very unique because they're young players, right? And typically for a lot of young players that are starting out in esports, right, and depending on the game or honestly just across the board, there's always that like gut reaction to just, oh yeah, we got to make a change. Let's make a change. Oh, this didn't work out, drop them. We'll worry about it for the next event, right? It happens like so much. So when I heard from, was it Soul Snipe, I believe it was, who was talking about how this squad has stayed together. The newest addition to this team is Manny, right? But when you really think about it, they're all kind of at similar points in their Halo career, and this is the time for them, kind of like Fnatic, right? This is the time for them to start to have that upward trajectory because Worlds is coming up. It will be here very, very soon, and if you want to have that moment of like the peak moment, that's when you want to have it. So heating up at a tournament like this and then carrying that momentum forward into like, Kansas City and then some of the other big events that are on the horizon, that actually could be a recipe for success for both Pioneers and Fnatic because they're both kind of in similar boats right now.
Well, it's actually funny you mentioned Manny and Fnatic. So when they went to the latter half of Halo 5, Manny was on the Pioneers.
Yeah. They
went into Halo Infinite thinking they wanted to make a change, and they went with Super CC as their fourth. Quickly, after a few weeks, they quickly swapped players with Fnatic, brought Super CC to Fnatic, but brought back Manny onto the squad. The reason why I like that is because a lot of teams feel like they need to make changes. I feel because of a lack of communication. you don't know how to communicate effectively with your teammates, so you don't know how to improve and how to criticize. Manny and Soulsnipe are literally best friends. Druck and Soulsnipe are that close, literally right then and there. They're a duo as far as two. So when it comes to that, when it comes to criticism, they can be hard at each other. Hey, Golden Boy, what's going on? That is not it. I know you, and that level of communication I think is really good. And another reason why I like the Pioneers, again, they are best friends outside. They hang out together. They talk to. They're hanging out in the Discord. We're watching movies all the time. Like that's what the Pioneers do. That's another reason why they're so good and how they don't have to make changes as far as in roster because they know how to communicate and make changes within their own game.
Yeah, well, Tony, here's our series layout. Now, we're going to start with Oddball Recharge and Slayer Streets, followed by Stronghold's Live Fire, and then, if necessary, CTF Aquarius and Slayer Bazaar. But honestly, I kind of like this Oddball Recharge start here, right, for both teams, because for Pioneers, they're going to play that, fast, in-your-face 2 style that is very traditional of players coming out of the tail end of Halo 5, and G2, I think they're going to be prepared for that. I feel like these two teams scrim each other as well, if I'm correct, right? So they're going to have this familiarity with one another, and let's see how this all shakes out. Big game here for the Pioneers, even bigger game for G2, because losing to Pioneers here, you have to ask the question, are changes on the horizon? I don't think that that's going to be the case. I don't think that they should even be considering or even thinking that that is an option. But Pioneers, they're in that position where they have upset potential. They have nothing to lose. And every single time they win, it's just forward progress for that squad. And it just continues to look better for those 4 players and that organization.
Yeah, so excited for them to be a household name. On the other side of things, G2, kind of like you alluded to before, I think Oddball really kind of plays in favor of them, especially when they have Coach Callis behind them.
Yeah.
If anything, Coach Callis is going to make sure that they slow the game down and watch those angles. And when you have a setup with the ball, whether it's gold side, C side, A side, doesn't matter where you have that ball. As long as you're watching your individual angles and you're winning those individual gunfights and playing those numbers, you're going to be able to hold on to that setup. And that's what I feel like G2 are going to have a really good time doing, where KCP are going to really have to break these setups and try to win those individual gunfights, where I think that's where G2's specialty is. So I think G2 take game number 1.
Okay.
I still think KCP take the series, but I think G2 can open things up by taking game 1.
Hey, man, I mean, anything is possible at this point, but we do have the players still setting up on the stage. I just got word from the team that they're still, kind of sorting through all that stuff. We did get opportunities to catch up with the players, talk to them, get their thoughts on the matchups ahead. Let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, never mind. I was told it was about skins. I misheard that. I heard it was a video. I messed up, Tony.
Oh, no, I mean, I love me some skins, though. I love me some skins. Let me tell you. I mean, let's take a look at the skins. And it's a crime that Pioneers are on this list.
I heard KCP video because I'm old. You know what I mean? Like, I'm losing my hearing. But here it is. So everyone in the chat, go ahead and make fun of me. It's perfectly fine. Very used to it. But here are the skins available to purchase. Tony, which one did you get?
I'm a fanboy. I bought all of them.
You bought all of them?
On day 1 of Halo Infinite dropping early, not even the actual release, of dropping early, I spent the cold 100 and bought every little
I bought the NV skin because I know that, that's going to be valuable one day. But we're in the action now, Tony. G2 versus Pioneers. We stalled enough, but it is now time to get into the action.
That it is. And it looks like we're going to start on board now with Gilkey quickly making his way over toward the goal side, throwing some denial nades here, but nobody home just yet. Either way, you don't want to get the shock rifle in hands, and he gets the initial kill that he needs, and now he has the rifle.
So Gilkey's going to look to put this rifle to work here, as well as the support that he's got from his teammates, and a pretty good setup as well. They're actually bringing that ball over toward yellow, and then they have a player positioned elevator, so that's forcing all of the contact to have to be made over at the long haul side, which isn't like really the most fun area to fight out of, because there's always, you have to make these like real sharp turns around corners. You have the steps here that you have to go through, which you can get naded out big time. So this actually is a great setup here for G2, but Pioneers with the crack, they have managed to break through the setup, and maybe it's because they got a little too overzealous there, Tony, and that cost them big time. Now Pioneers are adding to their score.
And that's exactly what Pioneers specialize in, is upping the tempo and going on the offense. And you see them breaking that setup as Manny ends up going down and going for a bit of a swim. Straight Sick going to take advantage of that, now making his way into the control side, and they're going to try to break a setup of their own.
Oh, and I like this play here from Pioneers, right? Because they knew that these guys were going to just start to like fly at them, so they got together to try and take some fights, as a duo, right? Focusing on the action, focusing on those players as they were trying to collapse on them. And even though it didn't quite work out the way they wanted, no one's been able to get ball control quite yet. So still, it's looking good for Pioneers. They're doing everything that they possibly can. Unfortunately, that ball gets reset, but they have time to go and grab that. Plenty of time left in this one, obviously.
Both of these teams fighting for that map control so they can ultimately get that ball in hands, but it's not going to be easy for either one of them, as Talik now going to rotate and watch the perimeter on this A side, going in for the challenge onto Tusk, ends up being taken down. Meanwhile, off the screen, Sab pulls off a double kill, and he's still alive. He's still maybe not.
A little cast a curse there for a moment. But you know what, though? That was even more time that they've been able to add to their total, Tony. And it is a clear thing that what G2's looking to do is they'll get those 10 seconds, they'll get those 5 seconds, they'll just keep adding on to that, and they're all right to put that pressure on Pioneers and force them to make mistakes.
Druck actually not going after the shock rifle there. He has to break the setup instead, able to take down Gilkey with the hold. This love the tech coming in, but all 4 members of Pioneers go down, and now you're seeing G2 lock in that setup once again. This is not looking good, GB.
Yeah, what they ended up doing there was with that control over by Yellow, now they have those opportunities for those rotations, but it is up to the Pioneers to get the cutoffs, which works out very well in their favor. They meet them at long haul. They've now gained possession of the ball, and it only just continues to put Straight Sick in a bit of a pickle here. Pioneers have angles, they have glass, they have shock rifle, but they have to be concerned about this push that's going to be coming from Pipes, because Druck could get shut down. But a beautiful shot there from Druck with the shock rifle, looking for another one as well. A double kill for him to boot. That is beautifully done there by Druck.
2 down, quickly go G2, and G2 was starting to look good. They were starting to catch strides, but Druck coming in and laying down the law. Finally, Tusk going to give him a little bit of a heat check kill, as once again, both of these teams fighting for that map control, not able to get a clear setup, and that's the reason why the points are so close.
Yeah, no one's really been able to grab that ball and bring it to safety. And in fact, this reset actually works out for Pioneers a little bit because of how they're positioning themselves. One by elevator, one at yellow. They simply just need to get in the face of G2 and bring that ball over. But that kill could actually open up yellow here for Gilkey and the members of G2. And Sab has been having a game so far. He's already at 10 frags, but so is Druck.
Gilkey slowing things down over the gold side. He has to be careful because there's going to be some pressure coming in. Ends up hitting the shot, but there's another player coming from the gold side. Beautiful collapse by Pioneers to make quick work of the shock rifle. Now it's going to change hands. Multiple players from G2 starting to put the pressure on, and Druck cannot alleviate it.
Here comes Manny around the corner. He had that plasma pistol too, so that's going to wipe out all the shields of a player if he managed to get the charge shot on him. Soul Snipe's going to be located in the back too, and I'm really, I do like how both of these teams are playing with a lot of respect for one another. Yes. You can tell that they're not flying at each other. They're really trying to just get in each other's heads and go for setups rather than trying to just swarm and take control of the map. They want to try and prioritize these setups as much as they possibly can here. Look at the help though. That is a smart play that Manny made, because most players, you know, in matchmaking games, they'll hold that ball until the cows come home, but instead you drop it and support your teammates so that you can continue this hold because they have a clean rotation over to Whirlpool.
Neither one of these teams ego challenging. They're both counting on their teamwork. G2 utilized their teamwork when they had their setup locked in, and KCP flying in together to break those setups. Soul Snipe over toward the bottom elevator side of things. Excellent cross map shots going in, but there's somebody in his face, not for long, ends up taking down Tusk, but he has 2 more challengers that have decided to appear.
Oh, what a way to stay alive there for Soul Snipe. Does he end up getting some kills out of that? Because if he does, that would be beautiful. And they still have ball control. So even if they were getting pressured from long haul, which they have vision, they know exactly where they're going to be coming from because they got those kills and they have an inkling of where that spawn's going to go. This setup continues to work out for Pioneers, and now the battle's going to be for the camouflage, and Soul Snipe's just able to go there cleanly and go, or not cleanly, but he's able to go and prevent that from going into the hands of G2.
And because of that, Druk now having the camouflage in hands, and with the 71-43 lead going in favor of your Pioneers, they can really put some separation in the scoreboard here. Druk going in for the challenge onto top control, ends up getting the easy melee kill. The Mangler is so strong, and obviously Druk knows how to use it.
He has a little bit of time left with that camo. Just as I said that, it was wearing out. Ball's going to be available at Whirlpool. 2 players for G2. One's located in front back batteries, and then the other one was going to be yellow, but Taulik ends up getting the frag. Oh, stand corrected there. Sab was waiting for him inside of the yellow pipes, but the connection from Soul Snipe is going to be good. There is a player rounding around the corner here. No real opportunity for Soul Snipe to use that shock rifle, and it's going to go right back into Gilkey's hands. And with that ball in the middle of the field, it's really just this works out very well for Pioneers, because G2 have to go and get that ball, Tony. Otherwise, it is going to go to Pioneers. We only have a few seconds left on the clock, and they need every single second now.
Luckily for G2, every time they have the ball in hands, the timer stops. But unlucky for Pioneers, you have Gilkey with the shock rifle making some plays. That's going to be a beautiful double kill, and they once again have their setup locked in. Sab off a screen, getting a crucial double kill of his own, and that was a momentary 4 down for the Pioneers.
That was such a big play there, Tony. Now they have the ball. They have to break this setup right here, right now. But Gilkey gets the frag. They're going to get the lead, and that is basically going to be it. He doesn't have to do anything here because Taulik's nowhere in a position to grab that ball, and the first round's going to go to G2. So well done there from G2. They had that ball located right in the middle, and they knew that Pioneers wanted to just get that ball on their side, and G2 simply just needed to hold it for a few seconds. Well, actually quite a few seconds, and they did so expertly, shutting down Pioneers every time.
That they did, and now Pioneers with their backs against the wall. G2 are 1 round away from taking game number 1 and the momentum in this series. Both of these teams are going to fight over the camouflage. Manny tries to get away with it, has the Mangler in his back pocket, but he's down to 1 shot, able to click the camo on, and looks like he gets away with his life, and now going to trade that Mangler for a sword. Easy kill coming in, slicing and dicing.
Oh, no!
The second one was within sight, but not able to get the double kill. Does Mike...
Ooh, he went back for the challenge on that one. He really didn't have many other options, though, Tony, if you're being honest here, because as soon as he was 1 shot, he was getting called out. You don't want to give the sword to the enemy team. But now it's going to be Pioneers' turn to strike here, Tony, and I think, like, at this point, they have to get a few frags so they can get this comfortable setup, but this little bit of time that they're getting at the early part of the round is going to be critical for them, because we saw how that kind of played a factor in round 1. Yeah, they would have liked to have been able to get a few more seconds there, and then it would have put the pressure on G2 to have to hold that ball longer. This is really where the early part of the game, Pioneers need to take advantage.
Straight Sick going in for the challenge, sadly not able to take advantage of those numbers because he is going to end up going down. Gilkey having the sword in hand is going to be very good for controlling this bottom A Whirlpool side, especially when you combine it with the grapple. He's going to immediately start to put pressure on the spawners, and that's going to be an easy kill. Coming out of Gilkey, quickly whips out his BR without any timing loss and goes to work across the map.
Beautiful grenade kill there from the distance, but Soul Snipe was able to pick up a few of his own, and there's Gilkey again, man. That one play that got Gilkey the sword has kept him a threat this entire time. He has the ball, but he needs his teammates' support, and you almost kind of want him to continue to hold this one here. He ran out of ammo on the sword, so he's going to play this more forward position. The repulsor should help him out here, because if anyone challenges at the door, the repulsor will send him packing down low.
Gilkey was the MVP of that little series of plays right there. Literally doing everything but Druk, easily going to shut him down. 3 down, go G2. Sab, the final player, having the ball. He's going to be slayed out. Druk has the camo. Pioneers have the momentum.
That was a great break of the setup, right? There wasn't really a comfortable setup for G2, but it still was a great break for Pioneers because they got so much out of that. Even though Gilkey ran around like running rough shot and got a bunch of sword kills, Tony, it was still just a very, very well done execute by Pioneers that got them this ball back, and they have angles covered now.
50-39, still going in favor of Pioneers. When we read this story before, they had the lead early in round number 1, and G2 ended up clawing their way back in. Pioneers need to keep their foot on the pedal.
Yeah, that will be the worst thing if it ends up happening the same way again. Gilkey with ball. They have Mangler to protect as well in the lower end. 1-2 players located by tower. I'm expecting 3, as a matter of fact, and Taulik's going to be vital too. That's why they have that player positioned low to shut that push down and not give him any kind of opportunity to make the run happen here. Druck flying right into this to force that ball down, and I love that the help from Soul Snipe, the trust that these guys have to always have each other's back and make these pushes together.
Mangler on Mangler Prime right there. Commando actually not going to be good for Soul Snipe as he's going to hit the black screen as well. G2 once again in their setup. How long can they hold it on for it this time as they have 2 players on the gold side of the map? They're watching the control side. Love this is locked in, but they need to win their slays. Tusk, well aware of it. He ends up getting a kill. Sab gets a kill onto Taulik, so back-to-back kills going in favor of G2.
G2's game plan of keeping a body top yellow has been paying dividends for them this game. They've never really had to worry about people challenging from tower side because you want to clear out that player that's located top yellow because that player is going to be the one to handle the cross. So if you don't remove him from the equation, it gets bad very, very quickly. But finally, Pioneers are able to crack that beautiful setup from G2, and now we'll see if they're able to do the same thing. But they're giving up a lot of control on this map. Taulik has to basically clear out yellow from an angle that isn't ideal here.
But Soul Snipe having a good angle of his own, getting the back-to-back. Beautiful play coming in out of Soul Snipe. Mangler and Camouflage in hands, and he's starting to advance forward towards the Whirlpool. Easy Mangler into the kill onto Gyoki. There's a second one, but he's being oh so annoying, playing his life. Finally going to catch a stray nade by Straight Sick from all the way across the map.
G2 knows that Pioneers want to get that body inside of yellow, so they're still keeping someone there the entire time. They basically they're paying rent there. That's where they are. And they're giving no real comfort for Pioneers to have like a clean setup. 2 kills straight for G2. This is great for them, even though with that ball located low, and you see the power of the grapple shot and why it's such a valuable tool to have in your arsenal. When it's available, go and grab it, kids.
Gyoki ends up staying in an advantageous position, earns himself an easy kill with that grapple play, passing the ball to his teammate and getting right back to work. A second one going to go down, so 2 out of 4 players going down, courtesy of Gyoki. That's actually be a third one here. So taking down 3 out of 4 members does Gyoki, and he's not done yet.
I would really like to see Pioneers just focus on being more aggressive, right? But they just had no opportunities to do so. G2 had a game plan. They stuck with it the entire time. That's why they go up 1-0 in this series. Pioneers were really trying to figure out how to break this setup, and G2 gave them no quarter.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. G2 have been looking really good since they picked up Tusk. I mean, they've really, something's just clicked throughout the second half of the season, and man, they've been going off. Meanwhile, Pioneers, I mean, they're sitting with the 4th best win percentage record, and they also, it's weird because they have no actual Slayers that are within the top 15 as far as stats go, so they're known to be that objective efficient team, but somehow not able to come off an oddball. What are these stats telling you that you see on screen, GB?
I mean, it's telling me that for one, the fact that Pioneers, look at that damage dealt. Every single player over 6,000 and 6,500 for some of them. The shots were being put forward, right? They were applying the pressure where they needed to or where they felt like they needed to, but that just gave G2 more time to work with. And every time G2 had a setup, Pioneers were really struggling to figure out how to break it. This kind of runs counter to the situation that they ran into with E United yesterday, where E United were very much kind of beating themselves up. I don't want to take anything away from Pioneers because they played really, really hard that series. But it does feel as if when Pioneers have to go up against structure, they struggle big time. And G2 have been in the lab, and structure's been their game plan since they've made foot in Anaheim.
Well, now we're taking it to the streets. Whenever you want to fight, you got to go to the streets. That's going to be game number 2 here. And this is a map that pays dividends to Pioneers type of style. Yep. They want to get aggressive. They want to keep that pressure on you. Once they get those slays and once they catch you making a mistake, they will pounce on you. Going to the streets, Rockets, Bulldog, Thrust, Drop Wall, everything you need on the map.
Yeah, I think that this is perfect for Pioneers. This is not because it's Slayer and the more quote-unquote unorganized team wins in Slayer. No, that's not the point. The point is there is a method to how this Pioneers team likes to play, and Streets is the type of map that opens that up for them and provides those options. But I would like to see G2 kind of do what E United did to Optic Gaming in the last series that I casted, where E United had control and Optic Gaming never really figured out how to, like with their slaying, how to try and like get in their face, right? If G2 can play that kind of game plan against an aggressive Pioneers, this could be big for them. And they're already up 3-1.
That they are, and Gilkey having the Rockets in hands is not going to be good if you're a fan of the Pioneers. Gilkey now catching somebody, ends up putting him down to one shot. The Tires player being Manny slides and gets the melee kill, so that's going to be a big kill. But Sab quickly coming in for the cleanup, and a triple kill coming out of Sab. Sab slides in, gets the cleanup, steals Rocket, and then immediately puts it to work.
It's just the thing about Sab, where he's the type of player where he's so efficient, so deadly efficient, that when he gets a triple kill, you're like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. He was in a position to really make that happen. It wasn't anything that was like, oh, he got the turnaround and did this incredible play and then sniped him in the face and then back whacking Ninja. No, he's just there. He's just there to receive his teammates and help them out, and they'll go ahead and pepper the shots. That's what makes this G2 team so deadly.
Fundamentals on point here for G2, and Pioneers need to make something happen because they're already down by 4 kills. Straight Sick just patrolling the back A side with the Bulldog in hands, now advancing forward over towards the player on the purple street, having no idea, just kind of moonwalking into him as Pioneers going 3 down.
I don't know what's going on here, but it feels like we're seeing a completely different Pioneer squad than what we did yesterday.
Yeah.
It was like they were so driven to get that win against E United because they knew that it was inevitable, that now against G2, this is not the same squad. It feels like they're running at a gear lower than what they were yesterday.
I'm not feeling the energy coming out of Pioneers that we normally see them. Look, hopefully Towler getting that big play, ends up getting the kill, going in for the double kill onto Gilkey, but quickly going to be hunted down. And
okay, gentlemen's agreement. We just all walk away from each other. Nothing to see here. Everyone just ran out of ammo. It's time to just get out.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is professional Halo, I swear. That didn't look at it like it right there, but well, now we're back to our regularly scheduled
No, it's just like a duel,
here.
you know? It's like a duel in the Wild West. Like, both guys miss, and they're like, oh, this is awkward. Let me go ahead to the... Oh, boy. It happens to the best of us, people. But G2, man, they continue to add on to this lead, Tony.
And that's one of the reasons why 343 said, you know, we're not starting off with a sidekick, a secondary weapon, because secondary weapons are power. You have to earn that secondary weapon by scavenging the map.
Yeah.
Gilkey scavenging for a Stalker rifle, Sabinator getting his hands on the Bulldog, and the setup is locked in once again for G2. Not in Oddball, but this time in Slayer.
Another thing, too, is from a lot of teams, Bulldog control. It's not something that you would normally think about because it is just a shotgun, but Sabinator's been bringing that Bulldog to the back alley position, and there are a lot of lanes in Halo Infinite, right? A lot of corridors that you're fighting out of, and what better than to use a Bulldog, which is more like a flat cannon rather than a shotgun. It's very, very effective, and that's why so many players are charging straight forward and keeping track of when it's available, and why you always see it in play because of its capabilities.
So much power, so much ammo. Sometimes the team that controls the Bulldog ends up coming out on top, and as of right now, it is G2 holding on to the 5-kill lead, but rocket launcher's coming up. So if there's any chance that something can come in and kind of change the tides of this game, it's going to be on the backs of that power weapon. Both of these teams 4 up. Nobody wants to be the first one to go down, and it looks like it's going to be touched. Straight Sick going to be the second one here, and now Pioneers are going to be taking advantage of the numbers as Druk ends up getting the double kill. Beautiful plays coming out of Druk and Pioneers to steal away that momentum that we were talking about earlier.
Wow, what a play from Druk. Again, the Bulldog, man. It's these other weapons, you got to scavenge along the map. They were able to get the rockets as a result of that. Those frags came in at the perfect time, Tony, but they still lost the rockets, which is heartbreaking, but they're within 1, but you don't want G2 to have those rockets after all that effort you did.
Sabinator having the rockets in hands. trying to advance forward, has a player in his sights. Luckily, the Slay comes in, ends up taking down the second one as well. That's going to be a killjoy, so that player actually on a killing spree, and Sabinator shutting him down. The man is 13-8, starting to heat up.
Everything about that play from Sab, Tony, was fantastic because he opted instead to put the rocket away because he was one shot. Why waste that rocket on a one-shot player? That guy's going to die anyway. You could just fart on him and he's going to die, right? Okay. But, you know, I mean, depends on what you ate that day. So then he swaps that out, cleans up the kill, and then gets the other one. And now look, they're up by 6 kills. They were within 1 kill of coming back, Pioneers, and because of some smart plays and good decision-making from G2, they've managed to wrestle that lead away and expand it even more, so they're up by 7.
Sabinator utilizing the assets on the map here with the Bulldog in his back pocket, about to start advancing forward. I don't think they have any idea where he is. The nade does come in, but there's no hit marker, so I'm not sure if they know exactly where Sabinator is. No, they don't. He goes in for the challenge, but not able to get the kill. Druk ends up putting him down.
Good cleanup there, right? Where are the one-shots? Is someone there to clean that up? There's someone always available for G2. It seems like once a Pioneers member is one shot and they're camping in a corner or just trying to play for their life, always G2 has a body to receive that, to be prepared to shut that guy down. But this has been like the best possible game you can have for Sab. 17-9, continues to add on to this. He's not missing a single shot. Try as you might, you can't shut this young man down. Only 6 kills left here, and this has been the Sab show the whole time, Tony.
There was a moment in time where Pioneers were playing so good, they were wiping the squad, they were keeping the pressure on, and then Sab comes and answers back with that triple kill, and they have not looked back since. Sab going in for the challenge onto Soulsnipe. Soulsnipe trying to run away, get away with his life, but he's being hunted down. His soul was sniped, and now he ends up on the black screen.
2 more kills left. Pioneers are kind of figuring out how everything went so wrong there. They did everything that they could. They got the kills in Tram. That rocket play was supposed to be the moment that Pioneers come back into the game. But some real smart decision-making from G2 to recognize that they were playing from a disadvantage has brought them right back into it, and they expanded upon that lead here. It's because of this guy, Sab, dropping 20 kills, man. Tony, what a game from Sab, and a statement made by G2 in this series.
And not only 20 kills, only dying 10 times. This young man's absolutely out of control right now. And you see him, look, everybody else has the funny poses, and then Sab's just there. All business.
Yeah.
2-0 going in favor of G2.
Looks like I guess they told him, hey, do a pose. And he was like, let me do like an old rock and roll album, you know, just look off into the distance. I don't know if that was Sab's vibe, but I like it. Just look at these stats, Tony. Sab with 20-10, right? The help that he was getting, every member of G2 were on point that whole game. They're all setting themselves up for success, but it goes back to what we were talking about before. It feels like they're a gear down on Pioneers for some reason. They're playing slower than what we're expect to seeing from them.
They really are, and I gotta point it out. I feel like there's no energy. There was one point in time where they started to answer back, and then Sab gets a triple kill and literally shuts down all that momentum that they spent building up into that point. G2, and mind you, G2. I mean, most of those fights, they were actually individual plays. There was actually only 22 assists coming out of G2 that entire Slayer game. The rest of them just individual gunfights. KCP don't take individual gunfights. They put you in those 2v1 scenarios normally, but they're just playing outside of their game. Now we're going into game number 3. Strongholds on live fire. Now this has to be a map and game type that goes towards Pioneers. They're a fast team. They're always rotating. They have to come out with a win right here, right now. Otherwise, they're being sent to the elimination bracket.
Yeah, this is it. You know, at some point, you got to wake up if you're Pioneers. G2, they're playing some phenomenal Halo. They're playing for each other, more importantly. But I'm glad you actually brought that up because it was something that I noticed as well, where there were barely any assists. I always look for assists, right? This is the map, though, where you're going to want to get some help because, yeah, on Streets, you're going to have a lot of isolated battles, but this map is going to be a little bit more wide open, and because it's strongholds, there's always going to be that movement that's going on. So, yeah, I mean, I like G2's chances here, and I feel like they could walk away with a 3-0 of Pioneers shift things into high gear now, because they definitely are the slowest on the track.
Sniper rifle, over shield. Don't forget about that drop wall and the repulsor as well, and the Mangler, kind of the unsung hero. The unsung hero really is Sabinator, though, starting things off by ripping that player in half.
That was quite the start. And they'll have this position in the back with the sniper rifle, which is an ideal place to be. And he can go back and forth here because he knows exactly where the Pioneers players are going to be located. One in front and another one. He's using that sniper like it's a heat wave. And so far, it has been great for him. Let's see if he continues to profit from that. Well, he'll actually get a beautifully placed nade there instead. And everything that Sab is doing is right. But they are now finally going to get themselves onto this point to flip this around, thanks to players like Tusk putting up some numbers as well, getting his first number, his first kill. But that was going to be one that opened up A for them. And now they have control, and they'll gladly give up C here.
Sabinator, more like the Terminator right now. He is dropping bodies left and right. I'm loving what I'm seeing. It's going to be a killing spree. He is currently 5-0. Spectre, don't you go anywhere. We need to stay on board with Zab.
Yeah, he's going to bring the sniper low, too. And it's just the decision-making from this young man has been so impressive. He saw two players down low, made the call, got away from it. No reason for him to take that fight. Even there, right, contemplating, do I drop down now or do I wait for my shields to come back a little bit longer? And he's just going to put this pressure onto G2, or onto Pioneers, right? Go ahead and capture C, keep his team still in this one. And even though they did lose positioning, I got to give credit to Sab for what he's been doing this round. But everyone else in G2's been giving up so much space to Pioneers that now Pioneers, they have that advantage and they have the lead.
Pioneers came out undefeated in pool play, including getting a beautiful win onto E United. We got to see something right here, right now. Otherwise, they're being dropped. Towling actually getting behind enemy lines. Beautiful flank, able to take down Soul Snipe, but Tusk using all that as a distraction for him to get away with the camouflage.
Yeah, but you know, he's got this camo and he's not really doing all that much with it. Yeah, he's putting some shots into players and causing some distractions, but they're in a trip cap right now, Tony. They have to force the situation. They have to get on a point and stop the bleeding, but the camo now is just having to make heroic plays, and Pioneers are going to relish in that moment, and they'll continue to add on. This is scary for G2. Pioneers have full control.
That they do. They got put them 4 down, and they're keeping the pressure on. Gilkey spawning up and immediately getting shot at, but now he's the prey becomes the predator as he hunts down that player, ends up getting the kill and steals away Alpha. So this might be what G2 needs, but mind you guys, it takes 2 to tango, and they only have 1 stronghold.
They're gonna need to get together and start this push at B. And this is why Pioneers are putting so many bodies over here at top mid, because they know that this is a favored spot. And if you're trying to come out, oh, okay, hiding in the corner was Tusk there. But if you're trying to come out of the garage there, that top mid area is a perfect spot to do it. So they were wise to just break that setup here. And now G2 finally will get to start scoring some points, as they have just took a shellacking over the last few minutes.
Yeah, but G2 holding on to the A and C side, and that's going to be tough. Tusk ends up getting the body shot, but not able to get the kill. And now he stares down 2 different players and going to be hunted. And mind you, Soul Snipe having the repulsor and the sniper, he's going to have some fun.
So Pioneers will flip C back in their favor. They saw that A was being capped because 2 members of G2 were located inside a garage. But this is exactly what G2 wanted to do, going top mid to take B control. But I think for them, they're more than all right to just force them to have to take fights here on A. The more the merrier, they say, and a good repulse, a good attempted repulse rather, and they'll get themselves the power items. They have the sniper rifle, they have A and C control. This has been a perfect game, and it feels like we're starting to see Pioneers gain that confidence back.
160 to 24 lead going in favor of your Pioneers. Someone must have got them some coffee because they've woken up here in game number 3. Manny advancing forward with the camouflage and the yeet wave, looking to yeet somebody over to the black screen. Having his first victim, takes down Tusk, immediately starts to work onto Straight Six. Straight Six not going down. Manny on the prowl, finally able to take down the second one. As 4 down go G2, and Pioneers working on yet another trip cap.
And that right there is an effective use, right, of the power items and the heat wave, more importantly, the way that they were able to just march up, the way that Manny was able to safely go up to the nest, remove those two players. They knew that Camo was in play, but they just had no idea where they were going to be striking from, and Pioneers continue to add on. They're so close to the 200-point threshold, but from what I'm seeing, this has been Pioneers' full control. They are pushing effectively every single time, and any moment that there has been for a challenge of G2, someone from Pioneers has been there to assist as well. Beautifully done by the young squad.
Pioneers once again out-rotating the enemy. Team Truck ends up taking away Alpha, but quickly is going to go down. And now we're seeing straight sick advance forward towards Alpha, but we know it's not going to be easy. Manny's trying to slide into his DMs. Manny trying to fly in, though.
Look at the help. That's exactly what we're talking about, Tony. The help from Pioneers. This map is playing into their advantages, the way that they play for one another. That is exactly what they need to do, but things are only going to get more difficult as the series goes on if they manage to win this game, because this is the type of pace that Pioneers need to play if they want to walk away with this series.
If they manage to win. I mean, come on, it's a 214-49 win. Got a lead going in favor of Pioneers, but I will say G2 are starting to make
Another
a run
camo.
as they go 3 down, and Drug steals away yet another camouflage. Quickly goes on to see Gilkey somehow ends up spotting him, but Gilkey ends up being put in the dirt.
And I think that has also been a key part of this match. Pioneers have been getting frags, but they've been getting them at times that have been absolutely crucial to them getting power items and the weapons that they need. And Druk just is not missing. This guy is so good at this video game, it pisses me off how talented he is, because it's just everyone needs to put respect on Druk. If you're not, you're crazy.
Don't piss off Golden Boy Druk. Come on now. You know
He's so good.
He really is, as he gets another assist, advancing forward over towards top mid, having the mangle in his hands, puts down the shots, but I mean, no matter how good he is, you can't take a 1v2. That's just math.
Oh, Taulik, what a play from Taulik. He just completely shut down G2. They had Sniper lined up right in front of them, and Taulik just makes the hero play, jumps right in front. G2, they are completely lost at this point. There's nothing else that they could do. A complete shutout, like not a zero shutout, but just a shutout from them not being able to do anything to get comfortable. Pioneers controlled that game from start to finish.
They really did. Pioneers looking so good in that game number 3 and finally putting a point on the series board. If there's any team that can pull off a reverse sweep, it might just be the Dark Horse squad. Not because their logo's a Dark Horse, but I'm talking about the Pioneers, the ultimate underdogs.
I guess we're still seeing more of those individual battles, but the pure outslay from Pioneers. The stats don't lie. Not a single member of G2, despite the slaying prowess that they have and the talent on that team, and Sab popping off on streets. There it is, you know, shut down, no damage being dealt. That's the kind of game that Pioneers need to play. But I would like to see them work more together. Even though they were moments where they were having each other's back, like especially fights that were happening toward A, I do want to see more assists for Pioneers. Continue to just lay cover, lay shots down on opponents, and set your teammates up for success as we go into the later parts of this game. But also another thing that I'm thinking about is that Tony, G2 have been in this position before, where they go up by 2, you think that they're going to walk away with the win, and then slowly by little, they start to lose these games, and then I get a little scared.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. You kind of should be scared, because I mean, what was Pioneers well known for back in the day? Being one of the best capture the flag teams there was towards the latter half of Halo 5. We're going into CTF on Aquarius for game number 4. If there's any chance for Pioneers to force that game number 5, it's gonna be on the backs of the CTF on Aquarius. Dynamo grenades, camouflage. You have each team starting off with a thrust, and don't forget about the heat wave. First to 5 caps take the win, or if 12 minutes ends up hitting that 0 mark.
Yeah, knowing that Pioneers have that CTF comfort, right, I think is important to know, like the comfortability on capture the flag would make this game even more interesting here. Ooh, great engagement to start things off for Tusk, but while that was going on, Druck is cleanly just going to go and grab that camo, and that is another power item in the favor of Pioneers, continuing on their good fortunes from live fire.
Camouflage and top mid control going towards Druck. Meanwhile, off the screen, Gilkey takes down Soul Snipe. Tusk ends up getting a big kill, so Pioneers dropping like flies. Luckily, Druck ends up taking down Straight Sick to slow down that offense coming in out of the boys in blue.
Druck, I mean, again, the man just frags. Like, I don't know what else to say. I don't know how many times I can praise him because it sounds like a broken record at this point. Everything that he could do right, he's doing right. The decision-making is absurd. He's setting his teammates up for success. Look at this pressure that he's applying on this base now. They have to get more bodies to assist, but a brilliant disengage there because he knew that Manny was going to be pushing up. Unfortunately, Manny couldn't get the job done, but at this point, Druck's just trying to stay alive here as long as he can, and that keeps the activity in the back of the base, but so was Sab over on the opposite side, and we're starting to see this flagpole happen here. Let's see if it works out for them, though. Gilkey does have possession.
Yeah, G2 doing a great job of defending their base, getting the slays, and turning that defense into offense. Gilkey now makes his way over toward utility side, hasn't been touched yet, and the first flag cap gonna go in the hands of G2.
You have to give credit to Tusk and Sab. I believe those were the two players that were pushed up the furthest. While all that was going on and Druck was playing some phenomenal Halo inside of the utility, there was still offense happening on the opposite side of the field. And then once those two kills from Manny and Druck went through, they knew that they had the clear opening to cap that flag, to pull that flag, and that's why it goes up 1-0.
Manny getting a cheeky kill. The dynamo grenades are coming in, doing max amount of damage. Another frag comes in, this time gonna take down Manny Sabinator once again, really popping off 5 and 2 already, but they shut him down. That's exactly what Pioneers need to do. Make sure the Sab is always on the black screen.
It's impressive as well, Tony, because Pioneers got another camo. So even with G2 getting that flagpole and the success that they've been having, it feels like more so than anything, like the plan from Pioneers is working because they keep getting the power items, they keep getting control of the map, but then you're not watching the back of your base, and there's Sab making another heroic play.
Great flank coming in out of Zab, 6 and 3 at the moment. Talek tries to go in for the kill, not able to take down the red hot Gilkey, taking down Talek, and that flag is still out and tantalizing. Gilkey gets another kill, he can run it, but he ends up trading off on the kill feed. Druck going after Zab, so both of these teams fighting for that control, and flags are out.
Tusk wins that fight against Druck. I genuinely thought that Druck would have ended up winning that, but they have the flag in the back of the base, Tony, and this could very well be another capture here. And this was off the backs of Pioneers with camo, with map control. Doesn't matter. G2 gets another cap in there because that teamwork has been clicking for them. And Sab's been doing a lot of work. Like, I love his presence in the enemy base. He gives them no room to breathe.
Sab really going off, and excellent plays coming in out of Gilkey as well to really start that pull. Tyler gonna try to make something happen, getting the initial kill they need, but who will? Who else but Gilkey to shut him down immediately? And now here comes G2 once again. It is a 2-0 lead going in favor of G2, and one more win, and Pioneers are out of the winner's bracket.
Good help that we were seeing that G2 were getting, or rather that Straight Sick was getting. But Pioneers effectively shut that one down. And this could very well be the first power item we've seen in a while here, and it's going to be the camo, but immediately shut down by Taulik, and there's Sab to receive him yet again. So with this heat wave, it's a smart position to bring the heat wave at, right? Because you have this close range. That's why you've been seeing a lot of players pick up that pistol lately, because you can spam it with as fast as you can pull that trigger. And the bloom, while it is a little profound, you know, you're playing through a lot of corridors and hallways, so weapons like the heat wave and the pistol are going to be very, very valuable for these teams.
Only thing more deadly than the heat wave and the sidekick is G2. They are so deadly right now. Yep. Beautiful shots coming in out of Zabinator. You notice he drops it, ends up finishing the player, gets to hold this medal, and they need to slow down Sab, who finally gets taken out. And also Tusk currently 11 and 7 at the moment as well.
Yeah, Tusk and Sab have been the dynamic duo inside of the enemy base. that whenever Pioneers think that they've done everything they could to make a pull happen, which is a credit to G2 for making it feel like that there was so much more that Pioneers did to give them the comfort to be able to pull that flag, and then a counter cap comes right through. That's the reason why it's 2-0 here. Each time it was off the back of Pioneers getting, you know, camo control, map control, everything was working out for them, and then the moment those players died, flag pull capped, we're at 2-0.
We talked about how well G2 have been playing towards the second half of the season, and you are seeing it right now. A 2-0 lead going in favor of the boys in blue. Sabinator going in for the challenge onto Manny, ends up taking him down despite there being two players. That's got an excellent kill coming out of Sabinator, but Soul Snipe going in for the flank.
Yeah, he's making a play happen here, and perhaps this could be an opening for him, but you know, he has to play slow because he has no other choice. He needs teammates to come back and help him out, and his squad mates are very unhealthy in this push. And here's Sab in the back of the base again, and he's got a heat wave. If these kills come through, I can expect, and look at the way he's staying alive. I would expect another counter cap to pull here if Sab actually stays alive. This is ridiculous. There's no way. Just no one's looking at that area, and I wouldn't expect him to. He's just this knack to stay alive and cause problems for this team.
Sab hiding right in the generator, getting the crucial kill that they need. And look at that. He's not even going for the flag. He immediately looks for that fridge spawn. Now going in for the flag and still baiting it. He knows the spawn is coming into fridge, but doesn't know that they've already advanced over towards the P side of the map. So Sabinator doing what he does best, being a nuisance behind enemy lines. Finally, Mikey gonna hunt him down, but still 2-0 lead going in favor of G2.
Well, that flag is available for them to go and grab if they can get their hands on it. But Tusk has been staying alive long enough that they've had no real opportunities to be able to comfortably grab that flag. So that is going to be 3 down for Pioneers. Tusk doing the Lord's work there. He has, the fact that he stayed alive that long, if you are G2, you're so proud of your teammate. If you're the coach, you're so proud of Tusk because he has managed to stop them from being able to make that flagpole happen despite them getting it out over toward utility. At no point were Pioneers comfortable enough to be able to make that pole happen, and they have another 3 players down again, and G2 starting their 3rd pole.
I know for a fact JMIM is proud of his boys, but you know what? He's not happy with the fact that there's another flag making its way across the map, gonna be going home. And
still alive. The fact that Sab is still up means that wherever they pull the flag, they have no idea where he's gonna be located.
That they don't, but the 3 down coming out of G2 allows Pioneers the opening that they need to get the flagpole, and Talik always running it over toward the Dynamo sides instead of into the pit, takes as little damage as possible, throws the Dynamo grenades, and then continues to relay that flag forward. He's able to get it towards the bridge, a bit of a fumble here, but we might be tied up at 2 apiece if they can punch this flag in, and they do. GB, we have a game.
Yeah, but they gotta be careful because the counter cap's happening. Everything's gonna fall onto Manny to have to make the hero play here, and they need to shut him down. He's gonna be located up ahead. Can he pull the flag and send it low side, or does he continue to fight with this? But I don't know. He's got the assistants coming up. They're right there. The flag drops down to the bottom, Tony. They're so close to being able to cap this, and that counter cap could have been no foggy idea where Pioneers are located, and if anything, they have just completely conceded map control for them. So this is where I'm looking for Sab to be that playmaker for them that he has been all series long to bring them back into this game.
Sabinator advancing forward over towards the market side, ends up going down to 1 shot, grabs the grapple, and creatively gets himself out of that terrible positioning, and now he's right back in the action, advancing forward towards Rockets and ready to do some damage. Soul Snipe was hiding in the tunnel like the rat, but it looks like he's going to be exterminated.
Yeah, rat's in the tunnel, but he'll clear that out immediately. 10 seconds till this overshield, and G2 are in a great position to grab this. So it's like, at this point now, I want to see what Pioneers do, not for this one, but for our next set of Overshield and Rockets. What are they going to do to keep these away from G2? Because now that Sab has possession of this, this is quite deadly. Not the player you want to have hold of something that gives you extra life.
Dynamo grenade starting to fly in for Sabinator. Doesn't get the audio tick just yet. Finally starting to find some players here. As soon as the Dynamo grenade starts to connect, you get that audio. He's going to actually slow things down. He does back away. I'm surprised that Sabre didn't want to keep the pressure on, but looks like they're more concerned with controlling the mid-map as opposed to pushing up onto the red side.
Well, it also makes a lot of sense, too, because if you collapse into their base, then off respawn, you're going to be on the opposite side of the map. And the way that this whole game, the way that Bazaar plays out, you know, the traversing from one end to the other, it's a little difficult to do, right, if you just collapse completely. So they're playing the midfield game, which means control of rockets, control of overshield, and a Guardian Angel Hail Mary down low. But rockets are now going to be up for grabs, and I think that Manny is the only one in the area to grab it, and you got players coming from the opposite side. He's got the rocks too. He's flying straight across here, but I don't know if this is the best situation. And Manny, unfortunately for him, even though the rockets are going to be down in front of a teammate, he has no way to go and grab that. And we continue onward in this game, a very close matchup. Neither team wants to make a mistake.
He tried to grapple into the Cafe side, but ends up missing his jump and loses the Rockets because of it. But the Rockets aren't even going to get a kill. Gilkey not able to take down Manny, who ends up taking him down. So the Rockets literally almost useless here on the map. Manny having the Bulldog. Let's see if someone could put a power weapon to work.
I'm just going to go on a quick rant real fast, Tony, okay? Because how did the UNSC think that the Rockets were good to send out for these soldiers? Because from where I'm standing, the rockets seem to blow up in the face of the person who shoots them. So how is that even working? Why would I want to be a grenader in the UNSC when that continuously goes wrong for me? Oh my goodness, that's unfortunate. But Pioneers, because of that and so much more, have now added 5 kills to their lead, and that clutch factor, Tony, might actually be coming to fruition here.
Talek with the overshield, Manny still having the Bulldog, and Pioneers having control of the map. Off-screen Druk able to take down Super CC. The shots are starting to fly here for Talek. Somehow still alive, ends up getting and winning the challenge against Gilkey as Pioneers are adding to their lead and creating separation here in the scoreboard.
And they're isolating players as well. So it feels like a bunch of players are taking individual fights, and G2, they're collapsing before our very eyes. Oh my word, Talek is having a game right here. And Tony, G2, as this continues on, as each kill continues to register, I get more and more worried for G2. They looked so good at the start of the series, but then everything just started falling apart.
G2 needs to find a way to slow down the momentum coming in out of your Pioneers, but Manny ends up going down despite having the Mangler in hands, and that's going to be an assist earned here by Sad. That might be exactly what G2 need here in the second half of the game.
You're also noticing a structural difference of how Pioneers are playing Bazaar and how G2 are playing Bazaar, because G2's play is this right here: hold mid-map, let them come to you. But hey, Pioneers don't got to worry about anything, Tony, because they got the lead. They're up by 5. G2 are the ones that need to make the play. Now, where the conversation comes into is, well, what's going on with Overshield? What's going on with Rockets? So they have the positioning for that, but don't think that Pioneers are just going to let them have that for free. They're going to try and send as many bodies as they can, and if anything, it's putting G2 in a bit of a confusing position here, but they have presence in the map, so, you know, theoretically, they should be okay to be able to obtain these weapons. But now, you see, they're pushing, they're applying pressure onto the rocks, and G2 don't have the comfort to be able to grab those rockets with no one contesting them. Thankfully, though, they get everything that they need, and now this is where things start to work out, but then someone sweeps up and backwhacks them.
27-24 going in favor still of your Pioneers, but G2 have been able to eat away at the lead. Straight sick, having both Rockets and the Bulldog. Somehow able to find the first kill. It's going to be Manny. Everybody getting caught in the vent here and exterminated, as Straight Sick still having 1 rocket in the back pocket.
You know, you asked for them to slow the game down, G2, and that has been their game plan. But right now, you know, it's nice you have rockets, but there's really nothing you could do if you're not using them. So Pioneers just want to try and bait out this 1 rocket that they have left in the chamber, and then they'll start their push, because Pioneers are playing this as if they're flying at their opponents. So they're doing the thing that I was talking about G2 wanting G2 to do. You get Overshield, you want to push this, you want to push your advantages. Pioneers are the ones that are doing that.
Assault rifle out here for Manny, who wants to try to up the tempo. He ends up putting some shots onto Tusk, but the damage coming in, and it looks like Druk able to get a kill off the screen here, now having the grapple as well. So here we come, Pioneers going back into their offense, having a 3-kill lead and wanting to add to it.
So Druk takes a more forward position. They have each angle covered, each corner, right? The lockers and library on each side, they have that. And they also get the sizzle sticks too. Oh, I like this fly in play. Get right in his face now. The double melee works out well. They clear out the player and they can keep trading because it works out for them. But the issue then is, well, what happens if you end up going a little too hard and giving up a little too much? Because this is going to be another overshield grab for G2, but they have to take advantage of it. Send it. Just go in their face and don't give them an opportunity to set up on this map. Oh, that sucks, the stick. Well, no overshield there, Tony.
What an amazing stick coming out of Manny before going down, but G2 only down by 1 kill at the moment. They can make a run. There's enough time on the board. Sab getting a stick off a screen onto Talik. Tusk trying to avoid as much damage as possible on the Rocket side. Now going to go in for the challenge onto Solstice, who's able to get the kill. Multiple hitting the kill feed. No team able to get the full map control that both of them want.
And Tony, we're all tied up 36-36, and just as I say that, a kill goes in the favor of Pioneers, so G2 can't quite get that lead yet. New Rockets are going to be up for grabs here. Sab's not in a position to help out. Gilkey's going to be rounding the corner here. In fact, 2 players are going to be rounding the corner, and that's why Talik is positioned exactly where he is. Continue to let that rocket be bait, and he used the grapple shot again. I said it at the beginning of the game, the grapple shot's the most important weapon, the most important tool in this map, and that is the reason why, because he can go and grab it and not get shot.
And that's exactly what Talik does, and he has the rocket and still 2 grapples in hands at the moment. He's the most important player on the map, currently sitting at 12-7 and having the game in his hands. Doesn't want to drop down over towards bottom mid. Doesn't know actually there's multiple players over toward the blue side. Finally, the comms will start to come in, and with that grapple, he can advance forward into Cafe if he chooses to do so.
You got 1 player located inside of the lockers, 1 in Palm, and 2 are looking to push the rocks. The play now is going to be for the overshield. He found Gilkey. Gilkey didn't see him, and Straight Sick in the back alley. 1 shot, but Talik went for the ego challenge and unfortunately paid for with his life. Is this going to be another overshield for G2? It shouldn't be, because they have Pioneers players all over the place here. Oh, playing around a very dangerous game of Ring Around the Rosie, but this has been a Pioneers just clinic that they've been putting on, and G2 have been trying to figure out how to break this, and so far it has not worked out. 4 kills remaining here, Tony. Pioneers can make the reverse sweep happen.
Solstice working that pole like he knows what he's doing. Druk got a Spider-Man in and using that overshield. Talik now having the shotgun in hand, so plays are about to be made, and they're only 3 kills away from taking game number 5, but Straight Sick ends up taking down Solstice and also losing most of his life. They're actually going to try to chase him down. Finally, he's going to be hunted in, and here comes KCP.
I love this play here, Tony. Everything that they're doing, 49 kills. The reverse sweep is just 1 kill away. It's just Soul Snipe. He found Gilkey, and they get the dub. What just happened?
Pioneers have pulled off the reverse sweep. The upset has coming in. They're advancing forward and knocking G2 into the elimination bracket. My gosh, what a series that was.
I genuinely do. Okay, so that match, I felt like Pioneers were playing with a lot of confidence. They were playing like a team that had nothing to lose there, and that is the attitude that they have to operate with this entire tournament, because everyone cannot afford to, every team here can't afford to lose against the Pioneers. G2 knew that. They started to clam up. And in the moments where you would want to see G2 get a little bit more aggressive, get in their face a bit more, don't let Pioneers feel comfortable in their positions. They let Pioneers set up time and time again. And the power weapon control, the power item control, even when G2 got possession of it, they weren't able to do anything with it, because by the time they actually made moves, they lost it. They lost the overshield, or they already used 1 rocket and got no value out of it. Pioneers just played G2 like a fiddle at the end of this series.
And one thing that also really impressed me about the Pioneers that we know them to play fast, and when all else fails, they play fast, but not this time.
Yeah.
They were perfectly fine with slowing things down and say, hey, look, if you want to slow things down, we can do the same thing. And it's exactly what you saw out of the Pioneers. I'm so proud of those boys coming off with the reverse sweep, and now G2 falling into the elimination bracket. They're going to play the winners of either G1 or Oxygen Esports.
And the thing is, this series could have been wrapped up in 3. That Aquarius CTF game, G2 were up 2-0. Sab was just back at the base, being a pain. Tusk frying, Straight Six supporting, Gilkey playing his role as well. And then that was that gear that I wanted to see from Pioneers, and they did it. They did it, and that was so incredible to watch. Pioneers dig deep to pull up a victory. We knew that they faced adversity before, and that E United game was certainly one of those instances where they went up against a very tough challenge. But this is where we started to see the confidence from Pioneers shine through, man. And now, well, they have another challenge ahead of them.
Yeah, look at the bracket here. Pioneers advance forward to go against Cloud9. This team has actually won 4 tournaments in a row, and going for the 5-piece right here, right now. But let me tell you, Pioneers red hot after that one. They didn't start off too hot, but at least they're able to get some momentum. And meanwhile, on the bottom side, you have E United going up against Esports Arena Red. UVU actually was just waiting for their opponent to drop down, and then G2 waiting for the winners of Oxygen Esports and G1, who Oxygen Esports are currently up 2-1. That's that team featuring Swish and the boys, the Young Guns. Let me tell you, I happen to know them really well, and they've been doing their thing. They really have.
I want to see G1 versus G2. Okay, does that make me a terrible person? Probably. All right, because I think it's hilarious. You know, I mean, you got Gamers First G1 versus Gamers 2. It's too perfect. It's too poetic. But I'm still blown away, genuinely blown away that Pioneers were able to dig deep and win that series outright. I do feel like there were times where G2 beat themselves up there, and I hope that they shake off that loss and really give it to the teams that are in the elimination bracket, because we know that they have the structure, they have the ability, but this is a familiar situation for G2. You saw it so much in Raleigh, right? What was it, against Ascend or Na'Vi, like, where, you know, they were up by 2. Everyone's like, oh yeah, you know, the EU team's gonna lose to G2. Makes sense. Nope. They keep putting themselves in this position, and they went up against one of the most clutch teams in the game, and that's the reason why.
Well, G2 end up down elimination bracket, waiting for the winner between Oxygen Esports and G1, which is actually going to be the next game on screen. I believe that's going on the Charlie stream right now. So if you guys want to pass over to that while we go on a little bit of an extended break, you can check that out and then come back in for the winner of those 2 matchups.